Hello, I have great pleasure in welcoming you all to not just one video but to a series of videos on this topic. The topic is karma and astrology, and I'm going to split this into several parts because this is a very long, this is going to be a long discussion. But let me take up one small part of it in this video. This is something that I always remember because this is something that affected me in my school days, and I used to think about it for a long time and try to relate it to karma. And the it all dates back. It goes back to my school days. I'm just finishing. I've just finished my ninth standard and I've entered the 10th standard. And from the 10th standard, from day one of 10th standard, I started going for private tuition, and the subject was Hindi, which was my second language. And I wanted to get good marks in Hindi, and that's the reason why I did this, because the 10th standard board exam was approaching, and this is my chance, and this is a very important exam because so far until the ninth standard the exams were not that important because it was done within the school, but now this is going to be something done by the government. And I, I I didn't want to take any chance, and I was Hindi happened to be my second language. So from day one I went to a for a private tuition, a Hindi teacher. I'll start from home at 6 o'clock. Of course, on my bicycle, and then had to cycle for about nearly 12 kilometers, reach the tuition center, and then there was this teacher who used to teach me, and I had given a special extra fees uh, to do um, to do 3 hours for me every day. And so I used to come back around 11 o'clock in the night. The only problem with Hindi was that this was taking a lot of time and I had less time for my other subjects. Now, I place before you just one question. In 10th standard board exam, now that you know my background, can you guess the marks I got in my 10th standard board exam in the language Hindi? You can take a pause here and immediately type in the comments section beneath. Just type, this is the expected marks. I just request all of you to participate in this, and please do it now itself and not delay this any further because I'm going to tell you the rest of the story, so you shouldn't be delaying this. I would like to thank all of you who have participated, have taken the time off to type the or guess the marks that is scored in my 10th standard board exam. Now I'll tell you what really happened between 6th standard to 9th standard. During most of the Hindi classes, I had, I was actually reading English novels. I kept the book underneath the table, it was just on the table, and I had the Hindi book covering it. And I used to look down and look at the teacher and go on studying, go on reading the English novels. Alistair MacLean, James Hadley Chase, Frederick Forsyth, all those people. That was there was a time when all these novels were very popular. I'm talking about close to 1980. So I actually failed each time in my final exam in 6th standard, 7th, 8th, 9th in one subject, which is Hindi, and I managed to pass all the other subjects. And in most subjects, I did actually very well, and that was the reason why I was promoted despite failing in one subject. But then when I came to ninth standard, the uh, the principal asked me to leave the school because he feared that I must probably bring bad name to the institution by failing. And they were always looking for 100% pass or even distinction, so definitely they wouldn't want to keep me there. And the principal said that, I know you're going to fail in 10th standard. I still remember asking him this question: how do you know? Because the exams haven't arrived, it's somewhere in the future. Then the principal told me, look, there's no need to know about the future. By studying your past, we can easily see what's going to happen in the future. And then he said, look, your score in 9th standard annual exam is so low, so there's no chance that you will pass 10th standard. Now take a pause here and think about it. Is the principal telling the truth or a lie? If you say he's telling the truth, then I can actually make it false by studying hard and passing the exam. And if he says I'm going to pass the exam, I can actually make it false by not studying Hindi as I have done earlier, and you surely know that I'm going to fail. So there is a limitation to predictions because of this, but at the same time, there is some basis for the statement that the principal made. It is on this ground even an astrologer makes a prediction from your horoscope. It's not going to be 100% correct only because of the fact that we do have free will. But let's look at it from another point of view. Do you think he would have said this to another student who was scoring very well in Hindi, who had very good marks in Hindi? So surely he would not have called him up and said, look, I fear that you may fail. So there is a great amount of truth in astrology. And now I'll ask you again, do you know my marks in 10th standard board exam? It was actually 42 out of 100. Now, if you think before I had told you the full story about what happened, if I had not told you my past, then you would say that after doing 3 hours of Hindi, you normally expect me to score maybe class first or state first or whatever. But the moment I tell you my past, then you change the answer and say, no, 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 that's very difficult because you messed up your Hindi in your past classes. So this is equivalent to past life. If you have messed up many things in your past life, it becomes very difficult to change. And even 3 hours every day of Hindi got me just 42 out of 100. But then you can always say that, yes, because of pass mark in CBSE in those days, I don't know how it is now, but it was 40 and I got 2 marks more than the minimum, the cutoff, and I passed. In a way, the Hindi tuition teacher and the tuition itself helped me a lot. But if you look at just the 10th standard and you don't know my past, and if you had looked at me, you'll say, oh my God, Dhilip is doing such hard work, 3 hours every day, and the system is unjust. Look at what they have done to him. They just gave him 42 marks. He did really hard work. I know for sure he did hard work, but nothing happened. But this is not what we expect. We expect that he should have got first rank. There's something wrong with the system. The examiner, you should have, the examiner made a mistake. You should apply for revaluation. So that's the correct way to do it, Mr. Dhilip. That's what you should have told me when you had seen you know everything about my 10th standard, and you also have seen the 10th standard results. So it's very important to note that in astrology, though it is used for prediction, it's not all the time perfect because there is always the free will. This is just part one of the series, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm sure you will have a lot of questions to ask. But before concluding, let me tell you that we move from one life to another. Lord Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says very clearly to Arjuna that you and I have lived thousands of times. We all know as Hindus that Sri Krishna or Vishnu came here only for 8 times, 9 times or 10 times, Dasavataram and all that. But in Bhagavad Gita, he says that I have been here for several times. And he tells Arjuna that I know them all, I remember them all, but you do not. We have come to the end of this video. In case you have any doubts, please type them out in the comment section. And whenever I find the time, I'll answer them for you. And See you soon in my next video.